All right. So, most of you that are on here know who I am. So, but I will give a little introduction. Thanks, Linda. um, yeah, so I'm D'Angela. Some people know me as Ange. Oh, Jamie's here. Hey, Jamie. Yeah, so I wanted to do this because I really want to help people. And I feel like I've always wanted to help people my whole life. And I think stepping into my power now has really helped me to know the target audience that, oh, Amy's on. I see you too. But yeah, everything that I've experienced in my life, I think has now brought me to come to this place where I want to give back to people. So that's what I'm trying to do tonight. Just kind of spread some awareness, let people know that they're not alone. And for the longest time, I had no idea what I was even experiencing. And I'm looking in different areas because I'm also on Instagram Live. So, and Facebook Live. That's why. So, yeah, I had no idea what was even happening to me growing up. I honestly didn't really know what was happening to me until recently, like February of 2020 is when I really started to understand what was happening to me. But I mean, I was basically born into domestic violence, and a lot of what I experienced was normalized. So I didn't even know what was happening. I thought it was just normal. So, and I feel like in society, a lot of what I experienced is normalized anyway. So a lot of people don't even recognize what's happening to them because everyone's like, oh yeah, that's normal. But yeah, there was a question that I'll try to pull up because it was a really good question. They basically wanted to know, like, when did I become a survivor? Like, when did I realize that I was a survivor? So for those of you that don't know, I am a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. Now, growing up, like I said, I was born into domestic violence, but I mean, sexual assault played a huge role in my life. I haven't had like one healthy interaction sexually. So I think my mental health played a huge role in all of that because growing up I had anxiety and depression, but I didn't know that that's what it was. And now I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I've had that. Oh, hey, Alicia. I've had that for quite some time. I think I had it before I even knew I had it. And that's the trickiness of domestic violence and trauma, just in general. You know, you don't really know you have it, you know, until you're like actually diagnosed with it. But yeah, the question is, how did I know that I was a survivor? Like, when did I realize that I was a survivor? And was it multiple circumstances that classify me as a survivor that happened? Like, did multiple things happen, or was it like one specific thing? So that, it's a great question, and it's honestly like a tricky question at the same time because, like I said, I feel like I had an idea that some of what was happening to me wasn't okay. But I didn't like really get it, if that makes sense. Like, I really didn't understand. And I know I'm not alone in that. A lot of survivors feel that way. So, yeah, so in the chat, PTSD is so hard to diagnose. my experience is it is misdiagnosed as other mental illnesses. Yeah, totally. Like, you don't really even know. Like I said, like, I didn't even know I had anxiety, but I would be getting panic attacks, like, throughout high school and in college, and I didn't even know, like, what was happening to me, honestly. Like, I really just wanted to fit in. I just wanted attention. I just did anything to get attention. And I think I was doing that because I wasn't getting the attention that I needed by my caregivers, like my siblings and my parents. So a lot of what was shown to me was like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do for attention. Like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do for people to like me. And like, I thought that love was abuse. So yeah, you're still amazing. The strength is amazing to see. You are awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. And thank you, Austin, too, for your comment. So I wanted to say, like, hello to Facebook, because Facebook is like a huge link to my trauma. For those of you that will be watching this video or are on now, like, some of you reached out to me being like, whoa, hi, welcome back. Because the last time I was on Facebook was 2013. So, yeah, there's a lot that happened to me on Facebook. Like, I experienced so many different things that I was like, I can't do this. And for years, I was just saying to myself, like, no, I can't have Facebook. I can't have Facebook. And then on Monday, I was like, you know what? I am going on Facebook. So I just didn't want to let fear control me anymore. And so I logged into my account, and everybody that was once my friend from 2013 was messaging me like, is this real life? I'm like, yeah, I'm actually here. So hi. And then I went and started adding the people that I have in my life, because I think, like, my life now, because I think I see myself as two different people. Like, growing up, I was this one person, and then, like, now I'm who I really was supposed to be. And it's beautiful to see. It's honestly amazing, and it's very healing. Thank you. I faced my fears. Yes, I did. And Jamie saying that you were misdiagnosed as bipolar. That is so common. That literally, I was actually talking about this today in one of my support groups about dissociation. And like, years ago, when you dissociated, you were literally labeled as bipolar or multiple personality disorder. You know, and now I feel like there's more awareness around PTSD and, you know, dissociation and just like all of those things that you don't realize are symptoms, or just like even being triggered. Oh, there's more comments here, I think. Oh, Alicia, congrats on your handstand. Thank you. I know that was that was such a process. It took me months, but I did get there. So I am very proud of myself. Thank you. You need some perseverance. Yeah. We all have perseverance. Okay. We all have it in us. We all can do it. Thank you, Jamie. I'm proud of me too, honestly. Like, so, okay. Some of you know, some of you might not know, but I have 3 kids. My kids are 5, 2, and 1. And I was in a very abusive relationship with my children's father. And all of my kids were conceived by sexual assault. And I love my kids. They are my entire world. So much trauma is there. Like, even my 5-year-old suffers from trauma. It's very, very, very intense trauma, which is why I recently was just diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is basically just post-traumatic stress disorder, but more complex. So like, you could have really intense symptoms of PTSD for long periods of time, or you could just be diagnosed with PTSD. But you can have complex PTSD if you've had multiple different events of trauma added up over time. And I did find out that that's what was happening to me. So I was just recently diagnosed with CPTSD. So it's a little tricky, but it's okay. Like, I have to manage my triggers and my symptoms. Like, even right now, I'm like looking around because I feel like nervous, you know, like almost like shaky. But like Amy said, like, I faced my fears, but like, I'm even doing that right now by doing this live. And, you know, for a while I was like, I don't know if I should share my story, because a lot of it was still very fresh. And I mean, I'm still dealing with the courts and everything. So a lot of that played a role. And I was like, I don't know if I should do this, but you know what? I want to take control back, because I never had control my entire life. And like, part of a trigger of mine is that like my family used to be like, you're such a control freak. And it's like, well, when you have PTSD and anxiety and depression, it's like you just want some type of control because you don't have control. So it's like, you're like, what can I control? You know, it's almost like so many things are falling apart in your life, and then all you can focus on is like cleaning your house. You know, because like, you know that you have the control to clean your house, but with everything else falling apart in your life, you're like, I can't control that stuff. So I think that's what was happening to me growing up, but it was more mimicked, like making me mocked. I would say more, it was more mockery than anything. You sharing your story helped me get out of my abusive marriage. So grateful you chose to share. Oh, thank you so much. I'm very proud of you. You say I might have helped you, but I mean, you did that. That is all you. And Amy, yeah, I know it's very relatable. Like, a lot of what I'm saying might resonate with almost everybody, and it's just not talked about. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So now, like, with all the therapy I'm getting, and I'm an active health coach now, and I just want to give back to survivors of trauma in any way that I can. I'm also an energy healer, and I work with Reiki, and I'm doing yoga teacher training in September to be a trauma-informed yoga instructor. So I'm currently taking trauma-informed yoga myself, which is awesome. Because so much trauma lives in the body. It's stored in your body, and a lot of people don't know that. So I just want to spread awareness. Honestly, that's just what I want to do. And I also take karate. Karate's awesome. I definitely suggest taking karate for anyone, but definitely trauma survivors. You know, it definitely gives you a sense of empowerment again. So, but yeah, so there was another question on what, if I can pull it up, I think it was, what made you want to see the positive in what happened to you, which is also a great question. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the question, but I'm pretty sure that was the question. Oh, hey, Emily. Yeah, I think the question was, like, how did I start to see the positive of it? So honestly, like, I do believe that everything happens for a reason. Obviously, things that happen to me aren't that great. But I think that every single thing happens for a reason. So, like, I wouldn't be who I am right now if all of these things didn't happen to me. So I think I see the positive in that because I want to give back to people. Like, I want people to see, you know, like I said, like, they're not alone. I want to be like cheering them on. Like, I want others to know that they're capable of changing their own lives too. Like, some of the people on Facebook that I recently just connected with again, you guys know me as like a completely different person than who I am today. So if anything, I'm just like an example that like you can change, which I mean is a great reminder because if you are ever feeling like, oh, I really want to, you can, like you really can, you can do anything. So I can't wait to see your classes. You are such a strong and healing presence. You will do so much good with sharing your story and wisdom in your yoga classes. Thank you, Barry. I'm very excited to be a trauma-informed yoga instructor. Like, it's going to be amazing. Even just taking the classes now, like, I feel great. So I really just want to give back to others. Yeah, so anyone on live have any questions for me? Because I'm honestly just, like, winging this. So if anyone has any type of questions, I'll do this more often, and I don't want to keep it too long either. So I'll maybe give it like another 5 minutes or so, because I want people to be able to watch it later and not have it be like an hour long. But yeah, so I'm grateful to be out of my situation now because I finally am away from all of my abusers. And I've had quite a lot of abusers in my life. And so I'm just very grateful to be out of that now because I really do think this is like the most beautiful time in my life because I'm healing. And I also talked to my support group today that, you know, healing is not something where it's like you're all of a sudden better. Like healing is like all of a sudden you're not doing well and then you're doing really well and then you're not doing well and then you're doing really well. But at the same time, like you're always dedicated to healing. So it's kind of like this. Okay. When did I feel like a thriver? So yeah, so there's a concept of like you're a victim, you're a survivor, you're a thriver. And I mean, I was definitely a victim like my whole life. And honestly, that was a trigger when people would call me a victim. Like my family would be like, okay, stop playing the victim. But like I definitely classified myself as a victim. And I was just constantly never really seeing what was happening to me. I was just being abused. So I was a victim for a long time. And then the concept of like being a victim and turning into a survivor is like my children's father, that whole situation, which I can get into in a different time, but that whole situation like really made me understand that I'm a survivor. I can explain a little bit, but I almost died like a few times, but the day that he was actually arrested, I survived that night. And so I think I finally understood that I am a survivor. And because I survived. So that's really, it was like a light switch in my brain, and I didn't want to be a victim anymore. I was like, no, I'm taking back control, and I'm a survivor. Like I survived this. So I was the survivor, you know, and I do still say that I'm a survivor, but I would say I'm a thriver because I am thriving. So when I found out about that definition, it was a few months ago. I want to say it was like maybe like February of this year. I had found out about it in a summit for survivors of sexual assault. And the concept, I was like, that's exactly what I am. Because I'm definitely a survivor and I've been a victim, but I am thriving, you know? And like I said, with healing, like you could be feeling really great and then you could be having a lot of PTSD. And like once I got my Facebook back, I was like, whoa. It was hard for me to remember to drink water, and it was very difficult because I was going right back into what I was trying to heal from. So, but it doesn't mean I'm not a thriver. Like, it just means that, like, I'm still thriving and I'm still healing. It's just, I have PTSD, and I'm always being checked to make sure I'm okay with my anxiety and depression, you know? So, but yeah, I hope that answers the question, because it's really up to you on what you identify as, you know? Like, some people don't ever want to call themselves a victim. Like, that's a trigger, like it was for me, you know? But I'm okay with saying that now, that I once was a victim. And then, you know, some people just want to be classified as survivors, and that's because we survived, you know, we're out of that now. So, and then honestly, I was introduced to the definition of thriver, and then I'm like, that's what I am. I had no idea that even exists. So, yeah. But yeah, I really just want to spread awareness and let people know that they're not alone. And that's really what this is all about. So I can start more lives, and anyone who wants to join, that'd be awesome. Coming up with more questions. I really want to make it raw and vulnerable. So, like, I didn't plan any of this out. I just want to have a conversation. And, you know, moving forward, I could share, like, more details about, like, specific things that happened to me. Or if anyone wanted to join a live with me, we could have a conversation. So I'm open to anything, really. But I just want to help as many people as I can. So I really appreciate you guys coming tonight. It was just so nice that people showed up and people support me. And for those of you that will watch later too, I'm very grateful. And for the support, like, since driving, since signing back into Facebook, everyone's been very supportive of that. Some people who I haven't talked to in years have messaged me again, which is really nice. So, all right, I will sign off, but thank you guys so much, and I hope that we can all connect at a different date. All right, bye guys.